Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Ludum Dare, Live with Light. I'm just doing a couple of things here with my bot. Make sure that's good to go. Might be good to go. I need to run a test on the YouTubes. I need to double check that I am actually live, because my view did not show it. Hey, we're actually live. Testing the chat over on the YouTubes. Hey! Chat received. Okay, so I had a bit of a revelation during dinner. Oh, right, need to ping the Discord again. So much Discord, so much ping. Oh, right, I forgot to change my Twitch and my Mixer label. They're fine. They don't care about the title as much as YouTube does. Now I'll change the VOD title at some point, but for now, it's fine. Close that. We'll get everything back up and running. Hey, Mac, welcome back. But yes, revelation during dinner. I had an idea about a way that we could make it run even better than it already is. Okay. Yeah. So right now, whenever we load an entity and make it sprite, it loads 2 copies, one of which scaled, of the sprite sheet. And if we have a lot of the same thing, like several things with the same sprite, this is pretty wasteful. And so it would be better if we had some form of memoization where if we've already loaded the sprite for some other instance, we wouldn't load it again for this one. And then down here where we blit it, instead of blitting from ourself, we would blit from the sprite pool. Hopefully y'all followed that. And so we need another thing. I don't think we need it to do anything when we first create it. When we load a thing, oh, this does it by the file. It's also very quiet. Because I turned off Pretzel because it was devouring all of my RAM. There we go. Okay, so we do this by the file name. So we need to store the file. To reference it later. Yep, Twitch works. Also, wasn't sure if you were still logged in. I see. Yeah, that's not the file we need. That's the file we need. Should not call that that. S-file. S-file. And we grab this. And it goes up in here. And so here we need to check if it's already in the pool. If file in pool, file not in pool. Not entirely certain the placement of the not for that. So if it's not in the pool, and that, when pool sub file equals raw during the break saw a video on how lag and blanking happened on the SNES and how it affected screen rendering. Fascinating. So what was blanking? Like, I don't know if I've ever encountered that. Yeah, raw size sheet. Good. Blank parts on the screen. Top lines of frame not render. Ah. Interesting. Return self.pool sub file. Sheet. If file in self.pool else return none. Self.file. Got colons. Sprite pool is not defined. Of course it isn't. Oh, yeah. Hello, Colin. How's it going? I'm writing a game. How are you? Right. I didn't actually store this as size. No attribute. Right. We're not going for attributes, we're going for dictionary entries. Hey, there we go. We got ourselves a lot of slimes. But not nearly enough slimes. Okay, so instead, we're going to take all of this, get rid of it. Range from 0 to 1280, step 60. Right, we need to actually copy the part we want to keep. 0 to 60. Good. Should do the same exact thing. Broken! Right, because we didn't append it. Slimes dot append that. Let's go. I forgot to put a couple of things in. Slimes. Brilliant. For y in range 0 to 720, step 60. Y. Save and go. Okay, so that many slimes does cause a hit in the rendering. So let's make sure that it is the lighting that's causing the trouble. For the most part, yeah. But yes, that was with the lighting. So let's see. Oh, I was going to do something about the ticks. So, Python list move first element. Yeah, that's what we need. We'll put a remove it later category here. So from collections, import deck. And so tick deck equals deck of nothing. Tick deck dot push that if length of the tick deck is greater than, say, 5, do that, and what we're going to print is math dot average of tick deck. Think. This right here. It's doing it full screen. Full screen is very problematic on my system. Let's stop the program. Start it. Not defined. Right, because it's self. Dot. No attribute push. How? How? Oh, it uses append just like the rest of Python. Right, of course. How could I be so foolish? But yeah, when I put it to full screen, it treats that monitor as not being there anymore, and it pushes things everywhere else. And it's terrible for my streaming setup. I missed one. Math has no average. Python math. Okay, so Python average a deck. I mean, I can do it manually, but fine, we'll do it manually. Okay. So we've got a problem. Splitting that many sprites ruins our frame rate. Unless we cap it at 30. So is there anything else that we could do better or faster? Because we're not even doing the lighting. How bad does it get with the lighting? $17. Why do they all look like they're lit the same amount? Because they are. Because each one of the slimes has their own little light. There was just one little light hovering over the slime, lighting themselves up. So now I'm concerned. Oh yeah, it totally is, but right now doing it without the lights is still problematic. Because basically we're drawing twice as much when we do it with the illumination. So is there anything that we're doing that's unnecessary? I mean, this one multiplication is unlikely to be the problem. Well, I suppose it's 4 multiplications. Yep, not really the problem. So basically the way the lighting is working, let me turn it back on so you can see. Is that each of these slimes has a little illumination layer type thing that goes along with it. So it's this. So it has this alongside of it. So the slime would be right along here. Because it's a little off to the side because it looks better that way. Hey there, Bluffamachuck. How's it going? So this is over top of each of the slimes. But it's multiplied in instead of just drawn on top. And so it darkens the outside and lightens the inside. But it goes through and draws all of the light sources into a layer that is then applied to this one. So it's a lot of additions and then one large multiplication. The bluff! Mixer is faster. So one big light layer that is multiplied onto one big drawing layer. Yeah, speedy mode indeed. Okay, so let's go back into this. And do it like this. Such that if we change this down to 640 by 360, we're sure that we've got that. And then let's collect a larger amount of ticks. Still shakes a bit. Yeah, because there's overlap from the lights from all of the ones in the middle. So the light is around here. And so the light for this slime illuminates the side of this guy. Dinner was delicious. Also, what have I done? I've made a horde of slimes that unfortunately, at full resolution, is not really that great for us. Ooh, I want to see how it works in this mode. Full screen! Look at all them slimes running it. 7 FPS. And falling. No, it's fairly stable. It's 7 FPS. But yeah, Python's nice. It's a little persnickety about certain things. But for the most part, it does good work. I mean, just look at all these slimes animating very slowly. Yeah, installation is by far the most annoying part. Yeah, Unkindness of Ravens, Raft of Penguins. What would a group of slimes be? That's a good question. I work in PHP most days. Conglomerate. Slurp. Slurp's okay. I do like Slurp. Flow. Okay, so since we can't work at this size, what do we do instead? Because I think the 640 by 360 is just too small. We bring this back to. I mean, maybe we could make the slime himself smaller. C++ is a little heavy for basic things, but it gives you a lot more power. Like this, you would not have a problem with working in C or C++, because you'd have access to the low-down, dirty things that let you do this sort of thing super fast. No, don't have to use Python. I'm doing this to learn. Most people don't, and I would recommend that you don't. Because there are other, much easier ways of making games. Well, Mac, the thing is, of course, the FPS is going to go up with just one light source. But the problem that I'm having is that at 1280 by 720 with no light sources at all. Come back here. Yep. Just a screen full of sprites. We are dropping below 60 FPS. And so we've used up our entire computing capacity just rendering a screen full of sprites. So whether or not the game has that many all depends on how I make the geography. But this is just tiling the screen with sprites. So something like Crypt of the Necrodancer has to use that many sprites, minimum, just to make the levels. And so yes, I could make it more minimal and just be like a Super Nintendo and keep a very close eye on what things I have. Text-based grad strategy. Woohoo! So when you say text-based, do you mean like King's Quest or do you mean like Angband? The animation doesn't make it run any slower. That's the crazy part. Is that if we stopped animating them, it's not going to make it better. Well, it would in a sense, because right now we are clearing the entire screen and re-rendering the whole thing. So right here, we clear the whole screen and we redraw the whole thing. If you make a game that has screen transitions, you only have to update the parts that you change, which saves you a whole lot of FPS. But if you don't know how much of it's going to change, you should assume that all of it's going to change, and if you can't change the entire screen at 60 FPS, you're gonna have a problem. And that's why so many earlier games had very few moving parts, because they could clear just the moving part and redraw just that little bit. But if the screen scrolls at all, boom, that's a complete screen refresh. Let's show you what happens when we turn off the animation. What does a Python block comment look like? Triple quotes. And so now we have a block of completely stoic slimes. Same frame rate. And no, I don't have a dog, but my neighbors do. It's a lot more imposing when they're just looking at you. So yes, this would be a whole lot better if we could keep the number of sprites below the number of slimes. Could it be that they're off screen? Well, let's find out. So now we're gonna remove a few, maybe. Let's pull it back a little as well. And let's kick the Y up by like 20. Okay, so the Y, we can probably give it a little more leeway. There we go. Screen full of slides. Yep, so when the background moves, even if the theoretically moving parts haven't moved, you still have to redraw the screen. Now, since we've removed some slimes, we're closer to full speed. Man, it is really difficult for my eyes to count the 20. So we've got 5 and then 10 and then another 5 and another 10. So yeah, 20 by 11. So 220 slimes is our limit. Okay, they're really creepy just staring at us. We need to reanimate them. Keep it up for like a minute? Why? Why do you want the scary staring slimes for a minute? And now it's your desktop background. Nice. Okay, so right in here, we're gonna put sprite limit 220. Let's say 200. Let's check on our RAM usage. Still pretty negligible, despite having 220 slimes. Okay. And now it just kind of feels like the slimes are dancing to the beat. Check on that dog. Okay, so next plan of action. Make them bob at random cycles. Yeah, that does seem like a good thing to do. Just add a little bit of life to the animation. We don't want to pull that many random numbers, though. Yeah, except that you need a different seed for each sprite. And I'm not sure anything that I'm going to come up with will be faster than just getting a random number. I really don't want your vocals. Go away. Different topic. General idea I had for this. Okay, so the general idea is that I would like to make a super adorable, let's just have it play while we're doing that. So I would like to have a super adorable horror platformer where you've been turned into a slime and you don't know if you're dead, you don't know if you're hallucinating. You're guided around by a fluttering unipig and you're surrounded by what seems like ordinary stuff at first. But as you progress forward, it gets darker, it gets more random things trying to grab you. It has gravity that changes such that you aren't always just pulled down, you could be pulled across or up. And you're trying to make your way pretty much anywhere. But generally climbing the mountain of madness. And you get madder and madder as you get to the city at the top. But again, can only do so much in this amount of time. Oh man, Python, why do you have to be annoying? Oh, really? You actually have to import random? What a world. Ah, scared of the incoming storm. I get that. Dogs do not like storms. Oof. Yeah, Florida's rough on the pooch population. Hasn't really taken a serious FPS hit, though. Adding that tiny bit of random to it. Almost hypnotic. And all it took was half a line of code. Mixer's eating your messages, oh no. And it's Mixer itself, too. I've had that problem with YouTube, where the chat just did not want to behave. I just love that animating doesn't cost more than static imagery when everything needs to change anyway. Woo, backup chat. Okay, so this is going to make it a little more difficult. because now I need to think about how to make this without a lot of entities. Slightly basic, hello, how's it going? Weird monster on the YouTubes. Got too many names, too many places. Mixer messed up for you too. Is the chat just dead? Like it's still super low latency, but the chat's dead? Playing perfectly, but the chat's dumb. Well, that's a shame. Okay, so just gonna stare at these slimes and get some inspiration. Wow, half-colored message tries to send, times out with red bar on top. GG, Mixer, GG. Oh, they time out instantly now. Nice. Make your entire account a joke. So Mixer is just falling apart. Time for the refresh. Site won't even let you sign into Mixer. Ouch. What did you do to deserve this? I don't know, but it must have been something bad. Mixed chat's just blank after that. Brilliant. Let me check my bot, make sure it hasn't exploded with that. It's not entirely exploded, but I'm going to refresh it anyway. So if you say anything in the next 3 seconds, probably won't show up. Okay, maybe like 7 seconds. There we go. Is your Twitch working? It appears to be. Okay, so we might be able to make it a more minimal jumping game. Prefer purple to red. So if we made it a more minimal jumping game, then we would need maybe a couple of backgrounds to get a little bit of parallax going. And then we would just need a couple of entities for providing illumination and a couple of platforms here and there for you to be able to jump to. Themed appropriately. Might not even seem all that strange. Got a sound to you. Red is greater than purple. Green is still better than all of them. Hashtag totally selling out. Text you, be there in an hour. 8 hours later. Yeah, I don't actually see the color of your name in the Twitch chat. And from my view of the Twitch chat, it's not green. Man, I love the ripples and waves that happen in the random slime bounce. And that's just from uncorrelated randomness. Just a little bit. Rip Mixer chat. That's a shame. So, any of you who are on Mixer, you can go down onto the bottom, lightbringer.com. It'll show you the Mixer feed with the super low latency with all 3 chats. So if you've got a Twitch account or a YouTube account, it'll still let you chat with the super low latency. So I'm thinking it could start in a forest and then get up into the mountain and then up into the clouds, do a getting over it sort of thing. Wait, no! Not a getting over it thing. Oh, inferior. I see, clearly inferior to lime green. Can't have any of this Kelly green or forest green. No, certainly not. Certainly not. Hunter green. I don't remember which one Hunter is. Ah, dark one. Okay, I think that's enough staring at slimes. Lincolnshire green. What color is that marker, Colin? Oh, all of you, if you are not following or subscribing to Monsters and Markers over on YouTube, you really should. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, right. Robin Hood's green. Yeah. Just heard probably should. I said probably should go and subscribe to Monsters and Markers over on the YouTubes. Draws monsters with markers. Okay, so we've got a bunch of slimes. We need to learn about collisions and gravitation. Markers and monsters? It's probably that way around. I never remember which way around it is. Colin, which way around is it? Markers and monsters? Yeah, that does flow better. Okay, so we currently have too many slimes. We're gonna go back to one slime for a while. And we're gonna put him at 640 by, let's say, 120. So we have one slime floating in the void. Bouncing his little bounce off. Yes, there is an FPS cap of 60. We can remove the FPS cap. Oh, wait, maybe we can't anymore because we've got this here. Well, let's just put 16 there. And he just bounces quickly. Let's see when we get our slimes back. Yeah, so we're pretty close to the cap with that many slimes. So this gameclock.tick is what caps it at 60. Welcome back to Mixer, everybody. Anthony Mazzi, learning to make games. Any advice on besides that? The biggest thing you need is a goal. Don't try to learn programming languages in isolation. Like, this particular game is working to teach me so much because I have a very specific goal in mind with very specific things that I want to be able to do. And that's why I spent so much time figuring out how to do the lighting. Right, so our sprite limit is 200, including light sources. And so I spent a lot of time figuring out how to do this illumination, such that we can have dynamic lighting. But having that specific goal in mind makes it such that you can look things up. And you can look for exactly the things that you want, and you have a reason for it, and so it'll stick in your mind what it is you need to do to make something work. So right now, I know very solidly in my mind that what made this lighting technique work was doing a multiplicative blend operation when splitting. Now, I know a lot of those words don't mean a whole lot to you right now, necessarily. But it basically gives you a way of going, oh, well, I can make progress, and then you remember what's going on. Whereas if you're just learning the language, I completely blew past the fact that there were blending modes for the blitting when I originally looked the stuff up. Multiplicative blend option is a great name for an electronica band. Oh, yes. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. It might not work as well for you as it does for me, but this is how I learned to program ages ago. Back before the interwebs gave us all the information we needed, I wrote text-based adventures in BASIC. That's how I got most of my programming chops, really. Because I wanted to make a thing so badly. And so I taught myself from books how to do all the stuff, because I had that goal. And it worked me towards each of the things that I needed to get it done. And nowadays, all the languages I know were from, I've got this project, let's make it happen. Right now, I want to make this game. I don't care if I finish it, I want to learn Python because I've got a thing coming up probably next fall that will likely require me to use Python for rapid prototyping. I used Python for like 3 months about 2 years ago. So it was super rusty, and that's why after a full day of work, I've got a slime lurking in the shadows instead of, you know, decent progress towards a game. But it's a little spooky, having that slime looking a little bit worried, lurking there in the shadows. Like, you can tell he doesn't really know what's going on. But he's still kind of cute. And yeah, it looks like something could come out of the shadows to grab him at any moment. Still got a book called Amazing 3D Games Adventure Set with the CD-ROM. Nice. Okay, so we need to work on collision and gravitation. And I'd say it's good advice for pretty much anything that you want to learn. For me, it was programming, but it's also how I approach learning music. Like learning new instruments, that if you don't have a tune that you really want to play or a style you want to play, you're just learning notes, and it would take a long time to become a musician like that. How do you make Python open a window like that? You need pygame. Recommend using this pygame.locals import everything as well. That gives you the constants. You need this event.pump in your loop to be able to make it work. And you need .quit when you're done. But what actually opens the window is this right here. You get your surface and you set the mode. This is fundamental Pygame, make a window. I set the native size to be this, such that it opens a window this size. This code right here makes it full screen borderless. Okay, so we need to update gravitation to also have one additional thing. Trying to sound smart in internet arguments. It's not great sociologically, but it is really good for your writing skills. But yeah, if you want to learn to draw, if you want to learn to paint, have something that you want to do and work towards it. But don't, under no circumstances, should you start with your dream. Never start with your dream. Start with a goal. You need something to work towards. But if you start with your dream, you're going to get really frustrated because your dream is very far away. Working towards things in particular will get you there faster, But working straight on your dream, oof. Crush your spirits real fast. Only local shop is closed on Sundays. No, not your Robo Read. Guess you're gonna have to chop down a tree and carve your own. Yeah, we can have him set the G flag here too. Okay, this is getting a little insane, so we're going to break these up such that you can see all the things that you send to this function. If your dream is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at half tempo, melody only on the piano, you might need to work on choosing your dreams. And so this game is not my dream. I want to make it cool. I want to make it good. I would kind of like to finish it, but if I don't, it'll be okay. Because I'm learning Python here. How could this not be your dream? No, I've got a way more ambitious dream than that. Way more ambitious. Okay, so there's G flag. Okay, this song is annoying. Go away. It's not exactly world conquering. But it is seriously innovative if I ever make it work. Nah, it's not that it was interrupting my dialogue. I just found it annoying. Like, it's not the sort of song that I would just want to listen to. And so... yeah, you hit next when it's not what you want to hear. See, if it were that easy, it would have already been done. Okay, worried slime, I know, I'm getting a move on, Okay, so down here we need to load the G flag. And then in here, we set the G flag. G flag equals 0. Slime has no gravity. Help me! I need a purpose. It's dark and scary in here. In the void, like, what am I even sitting on? No, I don't have feet. Okay, now we need something new. We need a block. Good job, big giant circles. That was pretty subtle. Okay. So the block we're gonna make like 3 times as wide as he is, about half as tall. And then it'll be anchored in the very center. So let's make it even. Actually, no, we want to make it odd. Such that there's actually a pixel in the middle. Oh, y'all can't hear that? Sorry. Why odd? Why? Such that there's a pixel in the middle. There's no center if it's even. Is it royalty free? Because everything on Pretzel is 100% royalty free. Don't need to worry about any weird monetization issues on the YouTubes. And then we want no illumination. Actually, we want to start with some illumination. Okay. Now we need to make the block. I think just working with the mouse will be fine. We're not going to do anything too fancy. I don't remember the measurements. 191 by 25. How about you turn that music back down so I can have my own music? Ah, seems fair. Okay, so we need to make a block for him to stand on. So we're just gonna make it weird. About the right size, yeah. I don't need it that hard, though. Softer. Less opaque. There we go. What is going on, you stupid thing? Oh. I see. He was asking me to do a content-aware fill. Okay, so instead, let's do that. And then go back to our swooshing. really like that orange there. There we go, perfect block. It's a color out of space, come on. Oh, actually, I should make it animate as well. Yeah, so we're gonna copy that. We're gonna expand the canvas to be, let's see, the slime has six frames of animation as well. I think we need more than 6 frames for this, though. Yeah, let's make this more than 6 frames. Let's make this one 16. Oh, wait. It needs to be a factor of 360. 36 frames is too many. 12 frames. 12 frames should be good. So 12 times 25 is 300. That was not what I wanted. New layer. Copy, paste, get rid of that one. Okay. Don't worry, this will be quick. I'm just gonna do a palette rotation. Man, I love the epic music for my palette rotation. I love it. Oh, it's perfect. What is the 180 up and down? Okay. So we're doing it by 30-degree increments? Hard to see what you're doing while I'm headbanging. Yeah, I know. Right? Thinking about Don't Worry, Be Happy playing over it. Oh, that would be great. Okay, what? Control U. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, the song is The Necromancer by Eye of I on Marrow. Also, I might have one frame too many. Because we're gonna duplicate when we get all the way back around. I think. We'll see when we get there. No, we're good. Whoa, that was the wrong button. I of, like, EYE of the letter I. Okay, save the block file, export, save for web, resources, sprites, save. Okay. Means we come into... Ah, right, we need to make block.xml. Okay, so we use block.ping. We'll make it animate a little bit faster than the slime. The width, I've forgotten again, 181 by 25, I think? So the anchor is at 91, I think? And 13. Okay, so we'll copy that and we will paste it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. And then we go 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. Just counting up by 25s. Okay, gonna turn that down just a touch. Let's check the levels. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now we should have a fully functional block. And so if we come back here and we make blocks.append entities of type block. And then we need to put it significantly lower at about, like, 400. And so we need an entities handler. And so it should just be that. We'll make a better one later. So that will blit and update all of our entities, then we'll do the lighting, and then we'll do all the things. So we save, and we see how many spelling mistakes I made. Do we have any guesses in chat? How many spelling mistakes did I make in all of that crazy amounts of typing? We've got a 4. Seems a little conservative. I like it. So we close that. I believe I've broken something. I appear to have made an infinite loop. Okay, let's try that again, see if we crash the same way. Hey, that's better. List object has no attribute entity. Right, we can't call it entities because that's the name of our module. Entities list. So that counts for 1. Object has no attributes. Slimes. Where be my slimes? Line 66. Self.slimes. Not a mistype, but certainly something forgotten, so that's 2. Well, bit smaller than expected. Most likely due to its lighting properties. Oh, it's also off to the side.
May we have your attention, please?
There we go. Okay. So what that makes me realize is we need a light offset. But before we do that, we need to make this light bigger. Now it's too big. There we go. Okay, I think it's getting annoying having so many properties, so I'm gonna change it to use commas.
Please do not leave cases or parcels unattended anywhere on the station. Any unattended articles are likely to be removed without warning.
Then let there be psychedelic colored blocks. Wait, that isn't how it goes. Maybe it is. Okay. And then we go for I split sub-0. And I split sub-1 and hope that it splits the way it should. Good. Didn't break it. I kind of want the blocks light to be brighter, so we'll work on that in a moment. Oh, that's the other thing that's gonna make the lighting... That's what's making the lighting so heavy, is that it's currently scaling the light sprite a lot. So if we make that better, I think we might be okay. We might at least save on some FPS. So we also want the offset. Such that we can offset the slimes by -50 and -20, I think it was. I forgot the comma. Did. There we go. That's how we should actually phrase that. Okay, now we just need to make it work. And then we add entity dot zero sub 1. And so up here set. Which means we come up here and grab that. And there we go. It's too far over. And this got it this time. Let's make different sized light sprites and drop the scaling. Yes, that, well, reduce the amount of scaling necessary. Okay, so... we need a default illumination offset. I think that was the problem with this right here. There we go. The slime is going to be like most player characters, where they are always at least a little bit illuminated by themselves. But I want the Pegacorn to have a relatively bright light. But you don't have any control over the Pegacorn. Okay, so we take negative 50 to negative 40 and see what you get. Okay, and then let's take it to negative 25. And there we are. Yeah, like the Dark Souls character, like the Iconoclast's character, like pretty much any character that ever goes into complete darkness. They need just a little bit of light, such that you always know where you are. Though not like Link in Link to the Past. Playing Dark Souls as watching these. Nice. How are you liking it? Okay, I need to turn the music down again, because I feel like I'm shouting at you folks. Star Command by Zircon, you're very loud. Good, but way too easy. I know, right? Okay, so let's scale this down. And then again. And then one more time. And 45 is probably as low as we need to go. Probably should have just made all of these into one sprite sheet. Thinking about it. That's probably the way it should go. Well, let's see how much of a difference it makes FPS-wise. Okay, 720, 360, 180, 90, 45. That actually improved it a little. No, like it should improve it because we're now using the smaller illuminations. Because this actually went down to 17 FPS previously. I'm pretty sure. Let's double check it. $18. Okay. If we did a light pool, then we wouldn't necessarily need to scale it every time. Either. So we would make the illumination for the slime, and then we would only scale it that once, instead of scaling it every frame. I think that's a good plan. So making a light pool like we have the sprite pool, where we memoize it such that we're only scaling it the once. I think that would be really good. Because I think it's the scaling that's causing a lot of the slowdown. This transform scale right here. You can't cut the scale out entirely because we don't know going in the exact light profile of every entity. And I don't want to make an individualized light for everybody in case I want to change the hue across the board. It's just a question of how we're going to index the light pool. I think we can just combine those two together. Should be good enough. Because we're going to send in the surface regardless. No, wait. We're doing this by type. I can put each of these into one image, but it won't help this problem. Okay, so how was I going to do this? That each entity is going to get one... Each entity type gets one illumination. And now my brain goes, but what if you want to animate the illumination? Stop, light. Stop. Scope of a game project. I know. Do I never actually save the name? What in the world? Wait a minute, that's just the type. Type! I like this one. Side Scroller by Abstraction on Pixel Minute Games Volume 1. Okay, so our entities now have names. So if we come over here, we can reference them by name. So if the name is not in the pool, we attach the surface. def has light self name return if name in self dot pool. Okay. I don't know if I want spotlights, cones, and beams yet. We're going to start with just radiant light because we don't really have any way of preventing it from going around corners. And we don't have any way of having it pool on something that it hits. Okay, so how much of this is superfluous now? Because that part's important. This part is redundant in a lot of situations. So if light pool, if not, light pool dot has light for entity dot name, then we give it one. Light pool dot load entity dot name comma light scale. And then what we blit is light pool dot light of entity dot name. See how bad I broke it. Line 15. Return. Right. No if, just the condition. Name sprite pool. Right, because it's not sprite pool. It's light pool. Whoa, that was cool. Totally broken, but really cool. Okay, line 66 in shade. Light lock is set here. Okay, so we'll keep doing those things because little math never hurt anybody. That's actually not better. That's not much better. I mean, maybe a little. But not much. Not as much as I was expecting. Let's see if getting rid of half of them helps. I can get up to 40 FPS with half of them. Can almost sustain 60 FPS with that many. So if we're just judicious with how many we have, we'll be fine, except for the fact that my machine is really good. I need to run this at 60 FPS with, you know, space to spare. Although, I'm not sure why it can't keep up. Because according to my process monitor, it's using 10%. 10% of my CPU power. I wonder what's slowing it down. Like, it's got to be... I don't even know. That's really strange. I don't really know what would cause that. Oh well. It's enough optimizing for now. Let's get back to our slime. Okay, so our block needs to have some gravitation. And then the flag would be 1, 3, 7, 15. Now, probably should do collision before gravitation, but yeah, always better to start lean than to try to trim it. It's also good to know what your limitations are. So we can't make some weird pixie cloud that's got 500 particles in it. It's no good. Okay, so to do gravitation and collision, what we're going to need is some sort of grid. Such that we can do... Well, I don't know, because the grid would need to be pretty darn wide to catch things. So the gravitation probably won't be grid-based. Because I'm not sure anything except for my dude here is going to be affected by the gravitation. It's not Wednesday, but I did call him my dude, so there is that. So I don't think anything else should be affected by it. because this isn't a fighting monsters game. There are things sneaking out of the dark, and you're jumping around. There's no fighting, there's no squashing. So just my dude is going to be affected by gravity. So if self dot name equals player name, then do gravity. Yeah, I would not expect Ludum to have a whole lot of physics going on. It would actually be better if the game controller sent the entities list only when it's time to do gravity. FTL. For all we know, it is. Granted, it's imagination by Electronomia, but it could have been. Okay, so when we do the update, split first, update later. Update first, split later. I think we should update first. Shouldn't make a serious difference just for the animations. But it might make a difference for the gravitation. What's coyote time? Okay. If entity dot name equals player name, then then the entities list, else don't. Right, we haven't defined player name yet, but there we go. What? Got too used to single ones. Ah, walking off the platform. Doesn't need it. Can't walk. No feet. Now, there might be some strange gravitational effects that I'm not accounting for, unfortunately, but we'll see. Okay, so then we bring in the updates. And then we need to calculate stuff. He jumps. Like, he'll squat down and build a thrust, and then just off in some direction. And then there will be gravitation that pulls him towards platforms, but he has to jump everywhere he goes. So no slithering, no squelching, nothing. He gets to jump, and that's it. Granted, he can do small jumps or big jumps, but still just jumps. And also, I don't know if I want him to be able to correct while in the air. No running, no sliding, no squelching, nothing. Okay. So, now we get a handful of if statements. Pick away game where that was kind of the movement. I see. Okay, so yeah, okay. So we need to do a lot of ifs. Lock is a vector, is it not? Pretty sure lock's a vector. Okay, so diff equals self.lock minus... Wait, we have to go through each entity. For entity in entities list. If survival game of sorts. Yikes. Okay, so yeah, we don't need to exclude ourselves because the diff will be 0. Diff equals, is it me minus them or them minus me, which will be the easiest to interpret? It's me minus them. If diff dot let's start with x less than 0, and so if dot x less than 0 means that the entity is below me. And then if, wait a minute, this is x. So that means to right versus to left. Pygame math vector 2 of 0, 0. Okay. Does it? Oh, it does matter because we need to check the... We need to check the G flag. We don't want to nest too much. Is there a better way of doing this then? Hello? System crash? Oh, just Notepad++. Oh, that's not great. I just wrote a decent amount of code. I have never seen Notepad++ crash. That's really impressive. Wow. Good thing it has backups and I save every couple of seconds. Apply gravitation. Apply X gravitation. Let's save it, run it, make sure we didn't break anything in the crash. Still good. Double check this. So diffx less than 0 means the thing is to my right, which means I need its leftward gravitation. Real quick, print 5 and G right. Whoops. Unsupported operand type and. Okay, so I need binary and. Python binary and. Bitwise and. Show me the bitwise and. Okay, so that is bitwise and. What's your problem? How do I define something as a byte? Python bitwise flags. Which thing was the wait how about? Can we do that in this? Because that's a very C++ thing to do. Yeah, that was a very... That's not a Python thing. Ah, bit struct. So the short answer is don't. It's been around a long time. But, as always, it keeps getting updated, so... Wait a minute. That worked. So it means something I'm comparing isn't working right. Oh, I see. I'm just trying to do an AND on a string, because idiot. Always cast your strings, kids. Right. G isn't necessarily an int. Float it up. Okay. So let's apply some Y gravitation. Accelerate plus equals entity dot G times the inverse square law. So divide by diff dot y divided by diff dot y. Save. And then here we print Excel. Oh no! Right, so pygame.math.vector2 of let's see. So the x is 0. G needs to have the correct sign. So Python, how do you get the sign? Really? You have to ask NumPy? Okay, compare x and 0. Oh, of course it isn't. Python CMP. Why doesn't it like it then? It's clearly right there. Ugh! That's really annoying. So is this old Python? It is. Really? Those are the only things that compare? That is so strange. If I were to create my own programming language, what would it be called? That's the thing. Programming languages are hard. DOS++. I don't like defining this function. Right. So if that return 1, return -1, return 0. Go. Forgot the colon. Go. What? How is that invalid syntax? Oh, yeah, right. Right. We're not comparing two things. We're just comparing A to 0. Okay, so we have some wrong direction acceleration. There we go. Self.vel plus equals XL. Should probably keep printing things to see if it's even working. Someday it'll get up to 1 pixel. Okay. So we need much stronger gravity. Oh, right, and we never actually applied the gravity, or the velocity, to our entities. Apply acceleration first, then apply the velocity. Nice. What? Oh, right. Self.vel equals pygame dot math dot vector 2 of max self.vel dot x comma max x comma max of self.vel dot y comma max y. Max x 5 max y 5. What? Oh, right. Min, not max. As they just fly away. Okay. Okay, should probably continue printing the acceleration to make sure that it is accelerating back when he gets to the bottom. Oh, right. Right. This is not what we want. If self.vel.x Actually, there's a much better way of doing this. There's a clamp in here, isn't there?
What have I done? Can someone remind me?
Why no clamp?
This soul is just a blur. The last thing that I remember is a party, then nothing else. How did I get here?
Scale to length.
Who is
Okay.
that man over there? Will I ever find out?
That length is greater than max v, then self.vel dot scale to length max v.
I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I won't remember a thing. Sail some rudder on the ship, on the bear, I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I will be hungover.
What? That's so weird. My math just suddenly stopped working. Whoa, what? Oh, it's because now I'm below it. It's not running this anymore. Does it not have G flag of... Should. Oh, I'm shifting it wrong. 1, 2, 3. Just an idiot. These things happen. Plonk. So we're gonna need a max acceleration as well. Also, this scale to length probably returns the thing, right? No, returns nothing. So it should just work. So Mac, who are you actually trying to say that to? Okay, these should be further in. Zonk. Oh, I missed the question. Sorry, Any Real Gamer. Yes, I stopped Scrap Mechanic because the physics were too frustrating. Man, I was kind of hoping he'd zip through. But yeah, the physics were too unreliable to continue testing, and I'm not much of a builder, so I didn't just keep making things. Okay, let's increase the gravity tenfold. Also, let's stop printing the acceleration. And don't print the sign. Go away. Okay, and then what if we make the max acceleration less than the maximum velocity? Well, that's much weirder. Fascinating. But yeah, without any sort of collision, it's problematic. Okay, so now we do the same thing, just for left and right. Okay, and now we play the move him around game. Let's put him at like 900. Oh, right, because there's no other gravitation. He'll just be pulled to the center of the thing, no matter where we put him. Oh, that was a little weird. Oh, right. It should only have a certain fraction of the gravitation, because it should point towards the center, not just diagonally to the right. Okay, so we need to start breaking this apart. Okay. And so times diff x over the sum of diff x plus diff y. Wait, it's also divided by the y's. That was the problem. That was the problem, not the other thing. Ignore what I said. That was the problem. Oh, that's some weird behavior. Coding with Shadow. Right, except coding with Shadow. We're not going to worry about the relative masses because we're going to assume everything has the same mass. So we're attempting to do differential gravitation such that we apply the acceleration to the velocity and then we apply the velocity. But this part is doing something a little odd in that it's not moving towards this. Because it's getting too much up and down. Because it's dividing by the diff x, not the actual length. And by the diff y, not the actual length. But we also need to give it a certain proportion because it's going in the wrong direction. Like, it's... Because we want to get the full gravitational vector. So we want to see the full vector pointing towards it, but then we need to eliminate it if it's not allowed to pull in that direction. So really, what we want is temp A and so diff dot, we need the normalized. So we get the direction of the difference. Which way is this pointing? Self minus the entity. Is that pointing towards the entity? No, that is pointing away from the entity. Turn it around. Okay, now we're pointing towards the entity. And we have a standard gravitational constant. So we now have gravity of a certain force pointing in the direction of the object. But unfortunately, it's too strong. We need the inverse square law. Okay, and then we can nullify a certain direction if it's not appropriate. So let's get rid of the application and work on nullification. So this would be allow. And so we swap it around for disallowal. Temp sub a dot x equals 0. Same thing here. Temp sub a dot y equals 0. Oh no! Can't normalize vector of length 0. If length equals 0, then continue. Does Python have that? Hello? I just told you to continue. Yeah, that you should continue. You should not keep trying to normalize it if it's length with parentheses. Good old parentheses. Oh, I broke it. Yes, everything is going to apply gravitation to poor old Slimy here. It's not super elegant. It's probably not super accurate. But so it goes. Okay, so let's double check this. Oh, we turned it around. We turned it around. We turned the subtraction around. So of course our signs are backwards. Oh, it still doesn't work. Okay, so let's... Doing multi-body physics would make it a little complex. A little. But, I mean, we're not simulating things here. We're just playing a game. So we don't need that level of accuracy. So we can get away with this model. This model is kind of bleh. If you're trying to do real astronomical type calculations, you'd fall into the sun almost immediately. Okay, so with temp A, it's a thing. Let's just print it to make sure that it's a thing. It's a thing. Pulling us to the left and down. Good. Temp A is accurate. Oh no, it says to cancel Christmas. Well, that's no good. What? How did... Okay, let's stop having it be random. Just for now, let's just set it as a number. 800. So it's trying to push to the left. The difference is a -1. And so I was right before that it should be this way around. Oh, but the ands, yeah, I see. Coding with Shadow, Python does not like bitwise operators. And so it causes issues. But you can get away... Well, I'm not sure if you can get away with it. But the problem I'm having is that I'm canceling on the wrong thing. Canceling is not the same as negating. Okay, so to negate the whole thing, I would need to switch more than what I've switched. So we need to rethink this entire thing. Okay, so we have to negate the whole kit and the caboodle. Probably a simpler way. Because if it's to the right and you don't have the right, if it's to the right and you don't have the right, cancel Christmas. Or, if it's to the left, and you can't pull from the left, cancel Christmas. Okay. So that is not canceling Christmas. Okay, so yes, checking for flag existence. Base and val equals val. Think. Is there a situation in which doing base and flag will give you something other than 0? Like, if it's false. Like, if it's true, base and flag will give you flag. That's always how it goes. But if it's not true, will base and flag ever give you something other than 0? I'm pretty sure it'll give you 0. Yeah, and 0 in Python registers as false. I don't like this. Right, it won't give you 1, but it'll give you a number that isn't 0, and that registers as true. Yeah, it'll give you a 1. Not strictly 1. It'll give you a 1. So it'll give you something that is strictly greater than 0. Man, I don't like the way this looks. I know it's because I've got a really tiny setup going on here, but still. It's so unreadable. That is not making it better. Not better. Now to remember which one's which for this. Okay, and then after all of that is done, we apply temp A to it. Hey, and he flies right to the center. Good job, little slime. Good job. Okay, what happens if we have 2 little slimes? This might break it, but we'll see how it goes. 2 little slimes flying towards the center. Okay. Random dot rand int. From 30 to 690. Or high in range from 1 to, let's say, 10. Quick, do a matrix of 200! Oh no, invalid syntax. What did I do now? I forgot to close the parenthesis. Brilliant. Goodbye, FPS. Everyone gets a slime. They're forming Voltron? A little bit. Up the gravity bit. And they get swooshed in quicker. Drop it back down. And they take their sweet old time. Oh yeah, let's try 98,000. Let's see how that goes. Shoop. Yeah, the order of magnitude doesn't make it that much faster. All right, I do still have the max A and the max V in there. Let's max those out. Love it. and ejected into the starless sky. Yes, indeed. I want that as your new screensaver. Flying toasters eat your heart out. It should theoretically come back eventually. Sounds like Lacuna Coil. Zircon and Julian Aversa. Fabrication. Hey, I saw some actually whip back and forth. Now that is a lot better. I like that. And the one little, they just keep coming back. I love it. Okay, so let's kick the max V down just a little bit more. There we go. That's the sweet spot. Get ourselves a nice electron cloud model going here. Slime rave indeed. Indeed. I definitely like this better than the one where they just sat there and bounced in waves. I mean, the bouncing in waves was pretty cool, but I kind of like this better. Because it's the same sort of concept of it just being that tiny little bit different. Thank you. Probably going to be calling in a night soon, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, how did you get the lights?
I know, right? It's the gravitation. It's doing some weird time anti-dilation thing.
That's gotta be it. I looked at the clock 5 minutes ago and it was 9.
Yep, totally 9 o'clock 5 minutes ago. So I didn't really get to the collision detection, but the gravitation is a lot more fun for me. And so having this proof of concept where I have things being pulled towards blocks is really quite good. It would be better if it could be pulled towards the thing in general, like towards its corners instead of towards its center. But even then, that's more complicated math than something I should be doing for a 3-day programming jam. Because with the hitbox, once it hits the hitbox, I'm going to cancel gravity. Like, once you land, you're stuck. Because you're a slime, you're sticky. You hit it and you stop. Once you launch off again, you'll be affected by the gravity. Let me check my various benchmarking things. Yeah, we're doing okay. So yeah, once he hits a block, he'll stick to it. Once he jumps, then you'll have the gravitational issues of the things that are going on around you. But it would also be really fun to have the gravitation change as the levels progress, where it starts off always pulling down. And then as you go, individual blocks will start acting funny. And then when you get towards the end, every block will be acting funny. But man, this part turned out surprisingly well. What do you mean by uniformed gravity? Do you mean a singularity where the slime will get stuck in the middle? I certainly hope not, but it might be feasible where it gets to the apex of its jump and it reaches the point just as it runs out of momentum. So I'll have to make it such that you can jump from those places. Or add a random gravitational flux field where if you do get stuck somewhere, it'll just slowly push you in some direction. Because I really don't want you to be able to soft lock, given a unique configuration of thingamajigs. Oh yeah, the intro will just be gravity is down. And so I could make one just solid block along the bottom that is pulling down. Actually, ambient gravity could be good too. Like having ambient gravity like you have ambient light. Yeah, let's actually implement that. I think that would be fun. Although, how do we tell it the ambient gravity? Yeah, you won't necessarily get to a point where it is a true lock, but it might be close enough. I don't know. We'll see what we want to do as we go. But we'll need something that will provide the current ambient gravity. And so I think we would need to send it to this. And so it would need to be a direction and an amount. Yeah, right now it's point gravity right towards the center of each block. But I think having an overall ambient gravity would be fun, too. And so... we'll send in... direction. We want it to go down. Mount. Let's put only at about 5,000. I do plan on having him rotate, but I'm not entirely certain how to do it yet. Okay, so that should send in the ambient gravity. We're not doing anything with it yet. Just want to make sure that doesn't break anything. Good. And we've got the ambient G. Okay, so if ambient G is not none, wait a minute. We don't need... I'm an idiot! We don't need a direction and amount. Just send in a properly sized vector. What am I thinking? The ambient G doesn't need to be anywhere near as big as the object G's, because it doesn't have the inverse square. The stream will not be much longer at all. I'm gonna say about 7 minutes. Let's just make it 1 for now. Oh, jeez. That's a little too much gravity. That was great, but a little too much.
You have reached the voicemail box of Kino.
Don't care. Goodbye. Well, we've got one that has made a stable equilibrium. Nice. Okay, let's ease up the gravity a little bit more. That's pretty fun to watch. Okay, let's ease up on it once again. His current working name is Rupert. Subject to change. Okay, and then if we set this to 0, it should just go back to the electron cloud model we had before. Except it didn't. Oh, because my electron cloud model from before maxed out the acceleration later instead of earlier. There we go. Now, if we add the gravity back in, we might get some better swirly orbits. Nice. Rupert has no clue what's going on. None. But still only slightly concerned. So yeah, it's pretty fun. We lost a lot of them, though. That's why the frame rate's so good. What was that one? Just falling out of the sky. Look at him just falling out of the sky like that. Apparently got flung way up. Whee! Whee! Well, the thing is, if it tries to blit off the screen, it just doesn't blit it, and so it counts as not existing. The blits are what are causing most of the slowdown. It might be possible. Time's almost up. I mean, we still have 30 seconds to watch these guys do their thing. I wonder if the ones that are falling from the sky are the ones that, like, are overflowing from the other side. Oh no, it's weird. I love that the music's gotten thinner now that we've got fewer of the slimes going on. I also like how it lights up the box. Oh, that's another thing that I'm gonna have to implement is Z depth. Like the Z indexing, such that they get rendered in the proper order. Because we'll eventually need background entities and foreground entities. And right now the block is only in front because we added it after we added the slimes. Okay, need to stop staring at these slimes. Start the process of going to bed. But this has been a lot of fun. I love doing this stuff. I'm glad y'all enjoy watching it. I love the adorable slimes. I like that the shading eventually did work out. I like that the gravitation is at least vaguely functional. But I am going to be doing this again tomorrow. Bright and early in the morning. Gonna get a good night's sleep. Gonna wake up. Gonna get myself some breakfast. And I'll start streaming, hopefully, around 8-ish. I make no promises. Today was a long day. So I'm probably gonna sleep very soundly. So I don't promise that there will be a stream right at 8 a.m. Might be just a little bit late. Or a lot late. I don't know. Like I've said many times, I'm not super attached to finishing. I'm just gonna do what I can, when I can, however I can. If it turns into a game, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But thank you all for being here. If you're not already following or subscribed over on the YouTubes, feel free to do that now. You'll get an alert when I go live. If you want a more reliable alert, click on the link for Discord and ask for the Stream Fans role. Whenever I go live, I ping Discord. It pings you on your phone or your computer or whatever, so you know right away, as soon as I remember to ping the Discord, that I've gone live. YouTube can be sometimes a little slow. Twitch and Mixer, a little bit slow. Usually not as slow as YouTube. But that way, you'll know when I go live. I'm going to be streaming a ton this weekend. Soak it up while you can. Can't happen all the time. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next live stream or video of Ludum Dare or Isaac of Finding Isaac or Crypt of the Necrodancer or who knows what with light.